time that we see a sculpture that is not made out of rock or stone, it's made out of bronze and gilded bronze with the lost wax technique. Well, we found this really huge statue in the southmost part of the South Asia subcontinent, which is Sri Lanka, nowadays Sri Lanka. And well, 8th century, and it's from the Anuradhapura. But Pura means a city, so it's a city of Anuradhapura kingdom. And I'll try to not focus so much on the notes I've left and this notes right here, so that you kind of have the idea of the details already. But just use our instinct, art historian instinct, and visual analysis. Kind of assume we are venturing in the unknown. When we first encounter a piece like this, how do we approach it? Well, first notice that we notice is it has more movements than the other standing Buddha, the rock cut standing Buddha that we studied in previous lectures. And you see for example, the shoulder moving to one, leaning towards one side, and then the waist to the other, hip to the other side, and then the thigh, and then the leg, kind of like forming a spiral movements moving upwards. We have a term for that, which means counterpose. So it's the different parts of the body, they're opposing each other. It's an Italian term called a contrapposto. Contrapposto. You can see in the green lines. It's used first to describe those Roman sculptures when they start to add the movements to the sculptures to make it look more dynamic. So they invented this art historical term for it. And now we see that a little bit of contrapposto here. But on top of the contrapposto, we also see the full breast. We also see a little bit emphatic, or not exaggerated, but emphasized pelvis, right? If that can remind us of the yakshas or yakshis from the Indian local Hindu deities, we see that link now. We see that connections. We see that communications across this subcontinent, the South Asia subcontinent. Yes, it's incorporating a lot. There's this sculpture. It's made in Sri Lanka. We used to think that there might not be so much connections in the two regions because this is Sri Lanka. This is to the kind of like really suburb, right? This is so far away from the central India. So there's not much connections. There's not much link that this place has to the central, to the very busy, a lot of things happening in the Central Asia. But it turned out to be, you see, we see that connection. We see the communications, right, of this image, of this female fertility image, and auspicious metaphor that reflects in the visual culture in Sri Lanka. So this sculpture as a evidence for that. And the second thing about it, this is actually not a Buddha. This is a Tara, also used to be originally from the Hinduism, but it was adopted in Mahayana Buddhism. Do you see that how Buddhism was also developing, incorporating things that has connection to it? incorporating things from other cultures or from local cultures to adapt itself in different areas. And in Mahayana Buddhism, we have the Bodhisattva who decides to stay in the world to teach others how to reach the nirvana. And Tara in Mahayana Buddhism was incorporated from Hinduism as a companion of Bodhisattva. And now Tara is being sculpted, right? It's being modeled in this Sri Lanka elite class. What else do we see? Well, we see that it's first adopted by elite because the garment, the regal appearances that shows, right? The tall headdress, the garment, the robe, very stylish, long earlobe. Again, what we find, right? Even before we explore the contextual knowledge about this Tara sculpture, we're able to sense that communications across different cultures, different religions.